Every gardener dreams of biting into a homegrown tomato so juicy and flavorful that it makes store-bought varieties taste bland in comparison. But what many don't realize is that perfect tomatoes don't happen by chance. Behind every vine heavy with red, sun-warmed fruit lies a series of smart, well-kept secrets. When you learn how to master them, your tomato patch can transform into a powerhouse of taste, nutrition, and abundance. The journey to juicy tomatoes begins long before you set a spade into the soil. Not all tomato varieties are created equal. Cherry and grape tomatoes, for instance, naturally hold more concentrated sugars and are often sweeter. Beefsteaks, on the other hand, are famous for their meaty texture and size, while heirlooms shine in flavor but require extra care. Selecting the right type for your climate and taste preferences is the very first step in guaranteeing success. Experienced growers always match the variety with local growing conditions, ensuring the plants have the best chance to thrive without stress. Tomatoes demand a rich, well-drained soil filled with organic matter. A loose, loamy texture not only supports strong roots but also ensures steady access to nutrients and moisture. Before planting, enrich the soil with well-rotted compost or aged manure, mixing it in thoroughly to about 10 to 12 inches deep. For an added boost, many expert gardeners blend in a natural formula. 1 cup of bone meal, 1 cup of wood ash, and 2 cups of compost per planting hole. This mix provides phosphorus for root strength, potassium for fruit development, and organic matter for balanced nutrition. Water the whole after adding the mixture, using about 1 liter of water to help the nutrients seep into the surrounding soil before transplanting your seedlings. One of the biggest secrets to growing healthy tomato plants is depth. Unlike most vegetables, tomatoes can develop roots all along their buried stems. When transplanting, remove the lower leaves and bury at least 2/3 of the stem. This simple trick creates a stronger root system, which means more stability, better access to water, and ultimately larger, juicier fruits. Many seasoned growers even plant seedlings sideways in trenches, gently bending the tops upward toward the sun. This technique helps young plants establish quickly in cooler soil. Tomatoes love moisture, but they despise inconsistency. Uneven watering often leads to split fruits and, a watery taste. To grow juicy, flavorful tomatoes, it's important to water deeply and consistently. The golden rule is to soak the soil rather than sprinkle the leaves. Aim for about 1 to 1.5 inches of water per week, applied slowly and evenly. A simple method is to give each plant 3 to 4 liters of water twice a week, adjusting based on rainfall and temperature. Mulching with straw or shredded leaves keeps the soil cool and locks in moisture, creating the steady environment that tomatoes really crave. Tomatoes are heavy feeders, and honestly, their appetite grows as the plants set fruit. While nitrogen is necessary for leafy growth early on, too much of it later will give you lush green plants with little fruit. The secret lies in shifting to a phosphorus and potassium-rich feed once flowers appear. A tried-and-true homemade fertilizer is a diluted compost tea. Mix 1 cup of well-rotted compost or worm castings into a cloth bag, steep it in 4 liters of water for 24 hours, and then drench the soil around the plants. For an extra potassium boost, dissolve 1 tablespoon of molasses in 2 liters of water and apply it once every 2 weeks during the fruiting stage. This encourages sweetness and juiciness without overwhelming the plant with excess nitrogen. Tomato plants are naturally vigorous and will sprawl wildly if left unchecked. By carefully pruning, you redirect the plant's energy toward producing bigger and better fruits. Remove the small shoots, often called suckers, that grow in the leaf axils between the main stem and side branches. Focus on keeping the plant open, airy, and supported. Whether you use cages, stakes, or trellises, Proper support prevents fruits from touching the soil, reduces disease risks, and makes harvesting easier. The combination of pruning and staking not only improves fruit quality but also enhances sunlight penetration, which boosts flavor. Tomatoes are sun lovers through and through. They require at least 6 to 8 hours of direct sunlight daily to develop their full flavor profile. When plants receive too little light, the fruits often remain pale and bland. Position your garden in a sunny spot, and if you're growing indoors or in shaded yards, consider using reflective surfaces to bounce extra light onto the plants. More sun equals more sugars in the fruit, and more sugars mean a richer, juicier bite. Healthy plants produce healthy tomatoes. You know, the most experienced gardeners never wait for disease to strike. They act preventatively. Crop rotation, believe it or not, is one secret weapon. It's important to avoid planting tomatoes in the same soil where other nightshades, like potatoes or peppers, have grown within the last 2 years. This simple practice reduces the risk of soil-borne diseases. And here's another proven method: a natural spray. Just mix 1 tablespoon of baking soda, 1 teaspoon of vegetable oil, and 1 liter of water. Mist the leaves once a week, and you'll ward off fungal issues like powdery mildew. Early action keeps the plants vigorous, which in turn ensures a consistent harvest of juicy fruits. Even the most carefully nurtured tomato can lose flavor if harvested too early or too late. Timing, as they say, is everything. The ideal moment is when the fruit has reached full color and yields slightly to gentle pressure. Picking at this stage guarantees the best balance of sugars, acids, and juiciness. If frost threatens, you can harvest slightly underripe tomatoes and allow them to ripen indoors at room temperature, but never refrigerate them. Cold breaks down the cell walls and robs tomatoes of their flavor and texture. The secrets don't end with the harvest. You know, many gardeners overlook the value of saving seeds from their best fruits. By selecting seeds from your healthiest and tastiest tomatoes, you build a personalized seed bank that's, well, perfectly adapted to your soil and climate. Ferment the seeds in a jar with a little water for 2 to 3 days until a thin layer of mold forms on top. Rinse, dry thoroughly, and store in a cool, dry place. With each season, your saved seeds will grow stronger, more resilient plants that consistently deliver juicy harvests. Growing juicy tomatoes is not about luck. It's about knowing and applying the right techniques. From preparing nutrient-rich soil and planting deeply to mastering watering, pruning, and feeding, every step brings you closer to that perfect mouth-watering bite. Follow these secrets and you'll discover why homegrown tomatoes are one of the greatest rewards in gardening. If you found these tips helpful, don't forget to subscribe to the Master Gardener channel and share this guide with your fellow gardeners. Together we can keep the tradition of truly flavorful, juicy tomatoes alive in every garden.